But then what happened suddenly was the lockdown stage came in. With the lockdown came a big change. The whole system changed. Now, everyone is at home. Now, imagine the situation. People who are lucky enough to have big houses are fine. All members in the family have rooms to themselves. If they're lucky enough, they also may have a small office where they can concentrate on working. But imagine people who have smaller houses where the rooms have to be shared, the flats have to be shared. But some people are living alone. What happens is that now suddenly you end up living with your siblings and your parents 24/7. And that's not a pretty experience for many people, because you're now living with a brother you don't get along with. You're living with your sister who's bossy. You're living with your father who's quite strict at times, or a nagging mother who's there all the time asking you to eat this, eat that, or do this, do that. So what happens is that this becomes a source of new anxiety. Along with the rising temperature outside, the temperature in the house starts to rise. And you don't know how long this is going to end. Remember, your brothers, your sisters, your parents, they have not changed. They've been like this even prior to the COVID virus. What has changed now is that you could spend maybe 8 to 10 hours away from the house, but now you have to spend all the 24 hours with them. So that anxiety increases, and that brings about frustration. That brings about anger issues. That brings about banging doors, throwing things around, showing your tempers in the most beautiful ways. Apart from that, what also happens is the frustration comes from the fact that you do not know how long this is going to last. Only today I heard it has been announced in India that the lockdown is going to be increased by another 2 weeks. And that is also tentative. We don't know whether it is going to be increased further or not. We don't know how it is going to end. We don't know if any of our family members will be affected, if our neighbors will be affected, if our relatives will be affected, if our friends will be affected, we can manage this. So first thing first. So the number one thing that I would insist everyone upon doing is to have a routine and structure. It's very easy to sleep late because you're watching Netflix and series after episodes of whether it is, Prison Break or Money Heist or Scorpion or whatever. And then it's very easy to get into that loop and continue watching 2, 3 episodes, 4 episodes at a time and sleep late. And then obviously get up late the next day. Then the whole system, goes haywire. So number one thing, what you need to do is to develop a structure. Maintain the same routine that you have been doing. So some of you are working from home, some of you are studying from home. Maintain the same structure. Now, of course, if you're traveling from, say, Malakpet to Raja Towers, it would take about 1.5 hours for you. But now you have got no traveling, so you have a lot of time on your hands. So you can spend an extra hour sleeping, but then maintain a timetable. The other temptation is to roam around in your pajamas, in your night dress. I think that habit should be changed if you're still following that. So the first thing that you're doing when you're trying to maintain a routine is to get up at the same time, get dressed, have your breakfast, and then if you have your own room or your own study, go as if you're going to work, and then lock yourself in and work for, say, 2 hours, and you take a coffee break, or a tea break or whatever, and then work until lunchtime, and then work again and finish at the regular time, right? So maintain that timetable, maintain that structure. That will be the first thing which is going to build up the rest of the day, and will have a major impact on how you're dealing with the problems of lockdown. Okay. The second thing that you have to do is, if possible at all, avoid watching television news. Except twice, I have not opened my television to watch news in this period. Once, when it all started, that I wanted to see. The second time, when our Prime Minister Boris Johnson was taken into hospital, and the news channel were not giving, the other news sources were not giving much information, so I had to switch on the television. But apart from that, I have made it a point not to watch news at all, because there is nothing positive you're getting from the news, all negative news. And then, of course, fake news and all that. I'm not going there at all. Okay. Before you decide that you're going to stop watching television, I would like you to do a small social experiment in your house. Say maybe tomorrow. Whole day you watch television, starting from Republic TV to IBN to ZTV to NDTV, Doordarshan, CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera, mm, every channel that will dish out some news. Whole day you watch the news for one day. At the end of the day, before you go to sleep, take a pen and paper, write down the things that you have learned new from all these various channels today. And also write down, how has it changed your life, your lifestyle, your behavior, your attitude towards the illness. I'll tell you, the net result will be zero. But I want you to do that experiment, so that then you realize that all day that I have spent watching channel after channel after channel and getting into angst, anxiety, in the end has given me nothing. So why should I waste my time? Why should I unnecessarily bother about these news channels, which either copy the same news stories from different channels, sources, or develop their own sources, God knows from where. So that is the experiment I want you to do, right? So the second thing is, I want you to resist forwarding messages. This is the most important. What happens is that you get a message, something disturbing, and what you want to do is, without thinking twice, you press the forward button. You send it to 15 people in your group or 30 people. They send to another 10 people each. So that's 300 people. Then it goes to 3,000, 30,000. Within 5 minutes, it will reach 3 millions. I tell you, the number of repeats that I get from various groups, the same message within 15 minutes, mind-boggling. So stop that habit of forwarding the messages. It's not going to give you any benefit at all. In fact, it is going to cause more anxiety to somebody else you send, somebody with a weak heart, somebody who is already anxious, someone who is already lonely. You're going to cause problems to him. So one click will cause problems. So stop forwarding the messages, and you beware of fake news. Nowadays, they are going dime a dozen. So be careful about these fake news. The third thing I want to tell you is to stay connected. You will say that just now I said not to watch news, and then I suggested don't forward messages, and then I'm suggesting stay connected. What I'm saying to you is stay connected in a positive way, in a beautiful way, so that you're staying connected with your close friends, friends who understand you, who are there for you to support each other, your family groups. You can create, if you don't have a family group, you create a family group. And once you have a family group. Again, choose very carefully what you're going to share. Please do not share again all these depressing and sad news. Share some jokes. Make it a rule. Tell each other in the family that we are not going to share any depressing news. We are only going to share positive messages, jokes, anecdotes, family, fun anecdotes, and so on. No depressing news at all. And nowadays, young children who are used to the social media, they are getting smarter and smarter, and they are coming up with new things. Like nowadays, they have formed a group for religious activities. For people, I can see there are people from various countries and various religions here. I don't want to stick to one religion, but people are, using these for good purposes, for religious purposes, learning their holy books, learning the meaning of the Holy Quran, and teaching each other and so on. And apart from that, they also have some fun. Like my daughter the other day, she said, "Oh, we are going to watch a movie." I said, "Where are you going to watch a movie?" "Oh, no, we are going to watch it on my screen. My friend in the US is going to watch on her screen, and we are going to, send messages to each other, and so on." So these are the ways to stay connected. Phone calls. I'm sure if you go through your contacts, in your family, there will be one person you have decided never to speak and have not spoken for the last 1 year. My friends, my young friends, this is the time to pick up the phone, give them a call, surprise them with a beautiful hello and a nice message. Likewise, among your friends, I'm sure you will find that there are people you have not spoken to for ages. Pick up the phone, send a message. WhatsApp is beautiful. Send them a message, a nice message. Make a video call, or you make Zoom call, through the Zoom facility. Now you can do that. The fourth thing I want to tell you is develop new hobbies. I'm sure, every one of us thought, "Oh, when I have time, I learn this." My friends, you have nothing but time on your hands right now. Develop a new hobby, okay? And teach someone else something new. Physical exercise, that's very important. Connect with nature. If you are lucky enough to have a garden, do you know how many trees you have? Do you know what are the names of those different trees? Have you ever sat in the garden, watched, looked at the different kinds of birds coming in? Do that from now onwards. If you live in a flat, have you ever counted the steps that take you to your flat? Do that. Connect with nature. Do you know who lives next door? Do you know how many young people are there in the building or in the area? Connect with them in a legal way, lockdown permitting. So use all these things. The other thing is help at home. Your mother, poor mothers, are used to making breakfast and dinner. Lunch is for relaxing for her because everybody's out away in the office or at school. So she might, put up her feet, do some things that she enjoys. Some people might watch television, some people might read, some people might do things. But now she has to prepare the lunch as well because everybody is home. So my request to you is to help out as much as you can. You don't have to be told to do something. You decide, okay, I'm going to make breakfast. Whatever it is, sloppily made, never mind. Try, go there, do that experiment. Help your mother, surprise your mother. Okay, so then there must be lots of unfinished jobs at home. Look around. A leaking tap that needs a mend, do that. Flickering light that needs some repairs, do that. A dead bulb that needs changing, do that. So there are so many things that can be done. All you is to focus. So there are lots of unfinished jobs. And the most important thing is that there must be lots of unfinished jobs. Try to finish them as well. And use the support that is available from your friends, from your family, from your colleagues, from any sources that you can get any help, use that. Now, if you're a student, don't stop studying. Just because, we don't know when the exams are going to be. So what's the point of studying now? Don't get into that mindset. Continue working as if the exams, if they are announced tomorrow, you should be ready for them. Most importantly, sometimes you learn a new language. I'm sure there must be times that you want to learn a new skill. You can do that. Okay. Now, if you are an employee, you connect with other employees, your colleagues. Okay? You phone them regularly. You ask about their families. You connect with your boss. You ask about his family. You learn new skills, whether they are in IT or finance or art or whatever field. If you're a team leader, show compassion. Don't pull up your junior colleague for turning up for the Skype call in a t-shirt and not in a tie. Don't pull him up. Okay? Show compassion. Inquire about families. Find out if you can help. Go out of the way to help them. And teach them a new skill. Now, finally, for everybody else, my closing message is that you need to show compassion. You need to show compassion not only to human beings, but also to animals. So fill up a container or an open vessel with water and leave it in the sun so that the animals can come and drink it. Show compassion in different ways to your neighbors. Find out if they need anything, if they need medication, if they need going to the hospital, if they need some kind of help, do that. The other thing is, nowadays, suddenly you realize there is a lot of charity work being done. And I think everyone should do this. People are doing it in different ways. People either contribute money, people, arrange lunches, people, they arrange dry grains, etc. If you do not have the sources to do that, or if you do not have money to spare for that, volunteer to deliver the goods, to supply the food parcels to people. So it doesn't mean, charity doesn't mean that you have to use your own money to spend. You can use your energies to do the charity work. Lots of volunteers are needed for various things. And lastly, my friends, I want to tell you, spend some time peacefully in gratitude. You have a roof over your head. You have food in the fridge to eat. Most of you will have money in the bank to spend. Think of those migrant workers who were trying to rush to their homes. Think of poor people who have been left to sleep outside under the open sky. So use this moment to show your gratitude to your Creator, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to Almighty God, for all that He has given you: health, physique, ability, and so on. Also show your gratitude towards your parents, towards your family members, towards your relatives, and to everyone around you. Well, friends, this has been a long monologue. I thought that I would just jot down a few things after explaining how the anxiety is increasing. And I have gone through explaining how that has been increasing because of the virus and its associated difficulties through lockdown and all that. And then I thought I will cover some of the points in trying to think how best we can beat these difficulties. And I have given you a list of things to do. And in the end, I told you how gratitude can, show and change your attitude towards the whole difficulty. You're going to be feeling much lighter every day after you spend a few minutes showing gratitude to Almighty and then to your friends and so on. Now, I want to finish this all with saying that I wish you all the best. I wish you all stay in good health, and I wish your families are safe, and I wish our countries are safe. Thank you very much. Inshallah, we will come out of this. Remember, people have survived plagues, people have survived Spanish flu, and people, all of us, will survive this difficulty as well, inshallah. The situation of the world, we all know once we are out of this, nothing is going to be the same for all of us. How do we cope with all the difference that's going to hit us all in all directions? One thing I want to tell you, my friends, we are going to be coming out of this wiser, inshallah, because then you will realize that you do not need so much money for living. You do not need such a big house for living. You do not need three cars outside your door for living, because you, having all these facilities in the house, did not utilize for the 6 weeks. So if you can live with them for 6 weeks, you can live without them for the rest of your life. So we are going to come out stronger. I want to give you that message. The most important thing is the future is going to be beautiful, inshallah. It is going to give you so many opportunities. Of course, initially there will be hiccups, there will be lots of economic problems, but then that will give rise to new opportunities in entrepreneurships, new opportunities in social undertakings, new opportunity in developing, businesses and various jobs and industries and all that. Only today I was reading how India hopefully is looking at it, that I hope none of the audience is my Chinese friends, that because of the problems, Chinese industries are going to take a big hit, and people will move out of China and bring their industries to India. So hopefully there will be lots of options and opportunities for all of you.
How to make yourself stand up and do the stuff? How do we deal with being lazy?
I think for that, the most important thing is to develop a structure. You write down 10 things on your timetable first thing in the morning. Don't worry if you're able to do only 2 things out of them the first day. I tell you, next day you will be able to do 3 out of them. The following day you will be able to do 4 out of them. And one day you will be able to finish them all. Uh, I'll start from the
So
end.
another
We made sure that none of the juniors left before him because we didn't want to be seen as too eager to go home. So sometimes people do that by example. Sometimes it is upon the leaders also to lead by example.